Welcome to to this edition of the Investor Q&A.
Thank you, Martijn.
Yes. So, how do I correctly pronounce your name? And obviously not your first name because that's Lucky, but your last name.
It's Ofurum, Lucky Ofurum.
Lucky Ofurum. And were you given this name Lucky at birth, or did you get it as a nickname and it's now your name?
No, it was my name at birth. I get that question a lot.
Yeah. Nice. Really nice. So where are you from, Lucky?
I'm from Nigeria. Born and bred over there. Did some bit of schooling there. And I'm now working in UAE, Dubai specifically. So I've been a sort of a global trotter in terms of my career. I've been in a couple of places where I have lived and worked. Used to work in South Africa earlier with a multinational company, with Unilever specifically. And had a stint in Saudi Arabia also. I stayed there for almost 4 years. Then I'm here now, in Dubai. I've been here for more than a year now.
I'm actually located in Rotterdam, and right outside the window, my window here is the River Maas, and
the headquarters of Unilever.
Yes, yeah, it's you know, I can almost walk there from here. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So what did your career look like? What did you study?
I've been mostly in this business space. I studied project management at an undergraduate level. And I got an MBA with the University of South Wales in UK. My career panned mostly project management, consumer goods, and business strategy. So that's the bulk of what I have been doing for the past decade. Working with companies to launch innovations and also leading business transformation.
Nice. So you have been involved with Unilever. So you have definitely been involved with companies that have global supply chains.
Yes, and I've been also part of that chain, managing projects where we needed to deal with logistics and supply chain across geographies, sometimes across 2 continents, other parts, but. Yeah, that has also been part of the exposure and ways of working that I've been exposed to.
Cool. Well, you know, one of the main things we're trying to do at Zergratran is make global supply chains more efficient and especially more sustainable. So what is your link with Zergratran? How did you find out about the company and
Yeah, I mean, I met Byron in a platform called Launch Club. So it's a platform where you get to meet people with similar interests and similar background. So Byron and I matched, and we had a catch-up session where we got to meet each other.
It's a networking platform.
Exactly. More like a business and career networking platform. And we had a good chat. He, of course, gave me a hint of what he's doing and what he's working on. And I did share mine also. So the connection happened sometime in October last year. And I've sort of kept in touch because I usually do keep in touch with my network counterparts, especially when you're very active on LinkedIn. So he did send, I think he sent his proposal to most of his friends, of which I was able to get one of it. And I looked through the proposal. It got my interest. For one, because I'm a big enthusiast. I'm very enthusiastic about sustainability as a whole.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's going to drive the conversation and the agenda of the future. It's a no-brainer. Everything about what we do in this world now, both whether it comes to logistics, whether it comes to ways of living, whether it comes to business, sustainability would be a big driving force in the future. So, seeing that I'm seeing that level of sustainability latched onto this project, it did get my interest, and I tried doing some bit of research, because the technology in quote is not altogether very familiar. It's something you would definitely have to do research about if you're not in that space. So I did my little research,
Mm-hmm.
and I only got more
Yeah, well,
interested.
so you said technology. What was the technology that you needed to research?
It's mostly the technology around the movement of the system of the transferring containers.
Yeah.
So it's, from what I learned, it's going to be a fully automated system where um, there will be digitization technology to transfer a container from the Atlantic to the Pacific, to and fro.
Mm-hmm.
And this for me is it's not your typical or very common kind of technology. I mean, most containers and most containers are transported with either a ship moving from one place to the other, or maybe a trailer, a lorry.
Yeah,
But
trailer or maybe trains.
yeah, and for me, considering that this would be one of the first of its kind, I'm not sure many of it are out there. Um, One of the first of the kind to move logistics, to move products in 30 minutes. That's, for me, was that really caught my interest, and I see that it would also have little or no emission in making that transportation, that
Yeah.
logistic happen. That's, of course, is another winner, a no-brainer also to get me on board.
Yeah, yeah. So you're talking about the automated ports, and also the maglev, magnetic levitation technology that is used to actually move the containers through the tunnel.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I guess that would be well. At least it's the only way I see on how you could move a container through a tunnel at at that speed, because
Mhm.
the speed would be 200 and
Something miles per
two
hour.
hundred 200 something miles an hour, indeed, to get the container from A to B in or A to P, exactly. Atlantic
Yeah.
to Pacific
Yeah.
in under 30 minutes, right?
Yes. Yes. So I
Yeah.
mean, these are not your. I mean, if you think about how the world has evolved in the last 10 years, how technology has changed the way we do things, it will, of course, strike you that we are probably onto a good mine here. It will, of course, strike you that this is once in a once in a century, if kind of opportunity to invest. And yeah, that's pretty much what got me interested. That's pretty much what got me excited about it. And I feel getting the project from where it is now to actually execution and it going live would be should be the core objective, the core agenda for the team working on it, because it's one of those projects when you research about it, you're pumped. You're like, okay, what what do we need to get it started? How soon can
Yeah.
we make it happen?
Yeah, yeah, it's for sure one of the one of the, if not the biggest infrastructural project that will improve the global shipping industry. The containers will go through northern Colombia, so a really quick way from the Atlantic to the Pacific and back with zero emission transportation. So that's going to bring down the emission, the carbon emissions of the shipping industry. But also, less ships will have to take a longer route, whether it
Mm,
be around Chile or through the Suez Canal. So the total number of ocean miles is going to be less as well.
reduced too. And you've just mentioned a very valid point there, because it's not so much about um, the zero carbon emission we are trying to address within the project itself, we also need to look at it from the secondary lens, the impact it will have on the secondary level. I want to assume this would probably stimulate other kind of technology. This would probably stimulate other kind of curiosities, right? From innovators also on how to join hands to address the issue of global warming. And the truth of the matter is that for this project, the interest and the viability of it would pan centuries, decades and centuries. Obviously, there will be some iterations because logistics is not going to disappear anytime soon. It's
No.
going to be a need for the next century. It has always been a need for ages, and it
Yeah.
will continue to be a need. I mean, unless there's a new technology around astral travel where you can just snap your finger and if that is not
Yeah.
happening, then it means logistics will definitely be a need for centuries to come. So
Yeah,
that's why
definitely.
this is an interesting thing to get involved with.
Yeah, volumes are still going up, and I expect it to go up. I think if I read something about that a while ago. I think up until 2050, the amount of the number of goods, or the volume of goods that needs to be transported, will just go up and up and up.
Mm,
So we need to bring carbon emissions down.
down.
Otherwise, otherwise we will not have a planet left to move anything across, I guess.
Yeah, just I was reading in an article about the pollution in the ocean,
Hmm.
and the article mentioned that by 2050 we would have more plastics than fish in the ocean worldwide. Now,
Yeah,
that's of course would worry any sensible, sustainable, conscious human being on Earth, right? Or it should,
yeah,
because think about how that would affect our life cycle here on Earth. And what this project, and if you're a deep thinker, you obviously see the link this project is playing a part to reduce that, because when you have less ship on the ocean transporting, it definitely means you have less pollution. It definitely means you have less plastic being discarded into the ocean, and
yeah, that as
in
well.
in turn you are also joining the fight to reduce plastic on the ocean. So that's why this project is quite important. And I just hope and I believe and we have hope that it gets all the right attention, because like I said earlier, we have a gold mine here.
So, if I hear you correctly, so the biggest reasons for you were, well, the first one I heard you mention, and for you the most important one was the sustainability aspect of the project.
Yep.
Correct? And
Yes.
then the second one that caught your attention was innovative technology.
Yep.
And then the third one is how do I say this? Well, the prospected business, I guess. I mean, the revenue
Yeah.
that it can turn into.
Yeah. It's viable for now and also in the future. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So those were the main reasons for you to invest.
Definitely. I mean,
Do,
I'm not saying, uh, how do I put it? Like, investing, I take the word very seriously, because when you're investing, sometimes it sounds you probably want to put in or pitch in millions of
yeah.
dollars, but sometimes I investing, for me, it's also every hand that comes on deck to bring such exciting thing to life. I mean, you also playing a huge part
Yeah.
in this project. It's not so much about the money; it's also about the interest. It's also about the moral support you give to the team who
Yeah.
have their hands on deck.
Yeah. You want to contribute and make an impact in a positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Do you also see challenges? I mean, if you just look at the project in an honest way.
Yeah. I mean, what the project is going through is it's no different from what every typical project is going through. I mean, I
Yeah.
was I was reading about some inventors, some of the inventors, their stories, and we celebrate some of these popular inventors now, from the Zuckerberg to the Elon Musk, but many of their failed agenda never got talked about. So, and for me, it just says that if you believe in something and you see all the right reasons to support it, to get it moving, to push it, everybody just needs to commit to it and keep that passion and keep that resource and time burning to make it come to life. The project would definitely have all the bumps. It would have all the questions. Sometimes there'll be seasons where we question, does it really make sense? Is it even worth fighting for? But I believe when we get to the end of the road, when we get to the end of the tunnel, we will probably look back and said, yes, it was worth fighting for. So I'm not fazed by the whole issues we currently discussing about the project and how to move it forward, the challenges with getting more investors on board, and also the challenges with the stakeholders from both the external and the internal aspect.
Yeah,
it's typical, and it will pass, definitely, I believe.
Well, Lucky, when I just heard you say when we get to the end of the tunnel and we will see that it was all worth fighting for.
Yeah.
I think there's no better way than to end this video.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for your time and your willingness to share your story and to explain why you decided to be a part of Zergratran.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.